Hello everybody, I'm your CAD course teacher, and today we'll be doing day 2, lesson 3 for the Fusion 360 beginner course. To start off, we'll be sketching lines, rectangles, circles, and arcs. Then we'll be sketching a spline tool, slots, and defining sketch dimensions and exploring sketch constraints. So let's get into it. So let's get to the part for sketching rectangles. So we've already sketched rectangles before. So this is how we do it. Create sketch. We choose an axis. And here, rectangles. So we've revised with the 2-point rectangle, which is the best way to do it. Like this. We use the new way is 3-point rectangle. So where we use 3 points. So 1 point here, 1 point here. So 1 point to determine 2 points to determine the length and 1 point to determine the height. Like that. 3-point. And one's just center rectangle, so it kind of blooms from the center, just like this. So these are the ways to sketch rectangles. Let's get some space. Let's sketch circles. The best way we recommend is center diameter circle. So you go like this, and you could change the diameter. So whenever you want to change sketching dimensions, you press tab. First you press delete, because this is just a diameter. You can just press delete. You can put 45. It's on millimeters, you can do 45. So now it's locked. You press enter and it's done. It also shows you temporarily the coordinates. That's the center diameter. Let's do the 2-point. So you do 0.1 and then 0.2. Kind of determines your circumference. That's also a good way. Another way is 3 points. So 1, 1, like that. Something like that. That's good too. Both of these are makes it more precise in terms of where you want to put your circle. This is the best way to actually have a precise size, and this is best for precise placement. So let's try that again. A new one, 2 tangent circle. There are multiple ways to do it. So how that works is, let's draw 2 lines. Okay, these are some basic ways to make rectangles. We'll go more into detail later, but now let's try making lines. Lines are very simple. Select point 1, point 2, you made your line. And from then you can also select it again, just like that. It's cool, right? So if you were done with the line, you could press this. I'm gonna make another line and show you. So see the curve there? Look, and you see the 90-degree? Let me tab over here, 90 degrees. So that's where that's the direction of the line. Let's make it something like 20. So that's the direction of the line. 30. Gives you the exact direction. That's pretty convenient. So that's also how you can make a line. And that's just like, it shows you the direction. And once you're done, right click, press OK. That's the best way to move on to the next part of sketching, because if you press finish sketch, you can't edit them, because what the software thinks is once you're doing one sketch, it's like you're doing it on a separate sheet of paper. You're doing all of this on one paper. If you do finish sketch and you create a new sketch, look, this blurs out. You can't really access it because it thinks that this is on a separate sheet of paper, and this rectangle I'm making is on a separate sheet of paper. That's what the software basically thinks. Just wanted to clarify that. And so now we know how to make lines. Let's try out the tangent circle, the way to draw tangent circle. So um, let's go to circle, go to tangent circle. So what it does, it creates a circle tangent to two sketch lines. So you just need two lines. So first, let me make the line actually. One line here, press OK, right click, press OK. And this determines the distance. So another line should be parallel to it. Click OK. Now, circle, tangent, press this line, makes a circle in between. What tangent really means, and you'll figure this out in high school geometry, is that there's basically a line on the circumference of the circle and it makes a 90-degree angle. But you really don't need to know that. But this is what it is, between two lines for now. It's useful, but I just recommend you use the center circle because it's just more convenient. Now let's try out the arc. So what the arc basically does is you just want a piece of your circle. It's hard or probably impossible to cut out a piece of the circle. So that's why we have an arc. We can just directly make a piece. Well, let's try out the 3-point arc. So I'm gonna get more space. Let's try one arc, 1 point, 1 point, and look, you see this arc. You can move it around, see how you want this arc to be. It's pretty cool. Once you're done, press OK. That's one way to make an arc. That's the 3-point arc. Let's try the center point arc. This. And it kind of makes an arc like this, just like a pizza or like a pie, you know, sort of. Or look, this looks like Pac-Man, something like that. So that's how it makes. The center arc is actually the best way to use it because it just, you can get exact dimensions and stuff. And the tangent arc. So the tangent arc is a different way to make an arc. So you have to draw two lines for tangent. And you go to create arc and a tangent arc. Creates an arc with tangency. So you have to select 2 points. It's good when you're doing this between like two sketches. It makes it easier. So point 1 selected, point 2. Look, and this makes an arc over here. Try another one. Look, kind of makes something like that. So that's what the tangent arc is used for. Now we're just gonna go to the spline tool. The spline tool is pretty easy. What it does is you can either access it over here or here. You don't have to worry about control point spline. It's not really that helpful for beginners, but if you want to try it, then you can. So what this is I take the first point, 1, and if I go either upward or downward, it'll make an upward curve or downward curve. So let's try it. There, and you see I'm making this curve over here. Then I do 1 point, then I do another point, and once you're done, you can press the tick mark here or right click. Okay, let's try that again, and something different. Now downward curve, then upward curve, and check. What these green lines are there is just to show you how you actually drew your arc, and these black points you can use once you're done. Okay, you can use these black points to kind of like mess with the angle of the curves. You know, this looks kind of looks like a mountain at this point, you know, something like that. So that's basically the spline tool. Pretty simple. And all of these, right now I want you to pause the video. I want you to review it. I want you to try it yourself and see how it works. Okay, I hope you tried it. Now let's continue. So now it's time to do the slot. So you see these over here. You click slot. There are a bunch of options here. These are basically, this is basic, the pictures here. This is basically what's gonna come out. If I try to center the center slot, I'm gonna get a similar picture on the left over here, where my arrow is. Over here, same here, something like this. So these pictures are doable with actual sketches, but a slot's basically kind of like a shortcut. So I'll just show you how to use it. So we take one point here and another, kind of makes a rectangle. Yeah, that's the center point slot. And then you could do this, and look, you made that. So you're done. Press OK. Another slot. That was a center to center slot. Now do overall slot. It's basically the same thing. It's just more in depth. You can mess with it. Those are the same. Now let's get to the center. The 3-point arc slot. All of these three basically the same. 3-point arc slot. It's gonna get you a different slot. So point 1, point 2. Now it's kind of the arc you get here, and point 3. See, it looks like, kind of looks like a donut, or maybe like one of those neck rests you get when you go to the airplane, something like that. You can actually once we get ahead in the course, we can actually extrude this and maybe use some other tools to actually make it look like one of those neck rests. So that is what it's all about. Then spline, slot, and center point arc slot. Same thing, it's just different way of, or different format of putting your points. So this kind of, yeah. So that's, you make an arc. Based on that arc, you make it. Super simple. You just have to understand the other parts to actually get to this point. But once you practice, once you get it, it'll be very easy. Trust me, it would. Okay, now let's get in depth of actually defining sketch dimensions. So I have a rectangle here. I don't click the second point yet. So I kind of want to make this into square. So there's a highlighted section here which has 60 millimeters. I press delete, and let's say I want to make it 70. So now it's 70, it's locked. So only the upper part the upper length can only be edited. So that's basically its width or length. So now you can press tab to go to the other one, delete or backspace, and I want a square, so 70. Now it's a square. It's a perfect square. Once I'm done, I press enter or a left click, and then after that, right click. Okay, I'm done. Also shows you dimensions temporarily. So that's how you do it. And you could add your own dimensions however you want. That's all up to you. So that's basically how you do add more dimensions. So that was a pretty easy part to do. So now we're gonna talk about this tool right here, the one with the scissors. It's the trim tool. It's a good tool when you're actually cutting items. So let me put in action. So I'm gonna make 3 center point circles. Okay. So again, don't press finish sketch. Otherwise it won't edit these ones because it thinks it's on different paper after you start a new sketch. So let's go to scissors. There's a scissors here, or you could press T for trim. So it trims the lines in red because it thinks this is 1 point and this is 1 point. So it trims all the lines in red. So whatever, I want to get rid of all these inside lines. So the ones in the red, you left click it, gone. Left click, gone. Left click, left click, left click, left click, left click, left click, all gone. This kind of looks like a cloud. And remember this, I want you to pause the video and practice this, because this is going to be part of your assignment posted on Google Classroom. I hope you paused it and you're done with it. Let's get to the next part. So that is what trimming is about. It can be used for other stuff too. This is what I want you to use it for now. So after trimming, let's get to constraints. Constraint tools are basically formulating ways of kind of adding different ways of placement for 2D sketches. Placement and size. So when you press constraint here, you see you get a bunch of options. What we're going to learn now is equal, horizontal, and coincident. All this other stuff, it's we don't really need it now in a beginner's course, because a lot of this again includes high school geometry, and also we don't need it for beginners. I've said that again many times. So let's make a rectangle, 2-point rectangle, one rectangle, and they should be fairly different from each other. So they're pretty different. Don't finish sketch, press OK. Now we go to constraints and we press the equal sign. What the equal sign or equal tool does is that it makes two lines the same. So this is the first line I choose, right? So this line, when I press this line, the line my arrow is on will have the same length as the line as this line. So I do that. You see that? Its length decrease. It's now the same as that. So that's how you do it. Let's also try this and this. So you see, now it's the same. I did that so I could make them into similar objects, because it's hard to make new sketches all the time, or new rectangles. That's why you can use this, because you cannot copy paste sketches. That's the problem. So that's why you do this. So the equal tool, I want you to try that. Pause the video, try that. Very easy. I hope you did it. Now let's go with the horizontal or vertical. Before that, I'm gonna make 2 circles. Let's adjust this a little. Yeah, 2 circles. So what horizontal is, you don't have to do this, but I'm just gonna explain to you. This, when a line looks like this, it's horizontal. When a line, or when something is at this pattern, it's vertical. Horizontal, vertical. So the closest here, if I were to use the horizontal / vertical tool, whatever is closest will happen. So between these 2 circles, what's closest when I use the tool is when they become horizontal. So I'll just show you that. Horizontal. Press the center for a circle. Center point, center point. Look, and now they're horizontally aligned. So I want you to practice what we just did. Pause the video. Practice. Hopefully you did it. And now let's get to the last part, coincident. So let's make a circle, center point. Oh, that's too big. Command Z or Control Z. One circle and a line. Press OK. So what I want to do here is, I cannot change the placement of the circle, right? And I cannot change the size of the circle anymore. How do I do that? What do? Is I make a line and I use the coincident tool. So the coincident tool, I press coincident or constraint coincident. Press center point here and start point here. So now it's a part of this line. Once I press OK, now look, I can increase the size of it. Line won't move, and yeah, line will move, so will this. Just like this. So I can even change the position, and once I'm done, I can delete the line and then now my circle's at a different position. This is the best way you can use the coincident tool. So I want you to pause the video and try. Hopefully you tried it, and we have a mandatory assignment for today. Might be a big assignment, but tomorrow is a Wednesday, so there's no class. So what I want you to do is everything you learn, I want you to draw a scenery. So you don't really have to draw the tree because it's hard to use the spline tool and then add a cloud on top. But if you do it, you get extra points, and there's no problem trying. So your requirements, you have to make the sun, you have to make a couple of clouds. Maybe you can make some other stuff, make it look like an actual scenery. That's up to you. I will post this on Google Classroom as an assignment, and you can give me a screenshot of the completed assignment, and I'll give you points for it. If you do the tree, you get extra credit. That's the deal. So hopefully you were able to follow up with what I said and able to understand. Remember, Fusion 360, it's all about practice. It's a very easy software to use, and you get the hang of it the more you use it. Thank you for watching the video, and have a nice day.